What have you learned about your offense since the first time you played TCU?
Um, Shoot, it's a game of inches. I mean, it's a couple plays on that first drive of the third quarter, are huge. And you play, in those big games against great teams. It's going to be a game of inches. And if that's a first down play, second down play, or a third down play on the third, fourth, fifth, sixth drive of the game, we got to scratch and claw for every inch, because it might be the difference.
Even with Will's knowledge of the program, he sat on the sidelines for 6 games. Was there a reluctance to throw too much at him in that first game?
Oh no, we were, and again, just how it all happened. I mean, we didn't know it was going to go down the way it did, and so it did, and we came out guns blazing, and just saying, hey, it's because I mean, having been around Will for as long and worked together like he and I have, we know each other pretty well. He studies and and prepares his rear end off. So no, it was obviously they're different players, but it was, oh no, everything's coming out because we gotta find a way to score points and do the best we can to win.
Rare in college football, you get a rematch in the regular season like this. How do you kind of prepare for the chess match that's going to be going on?
It's definitely different. I think it's been interesting, even kind of self-scouting ourselves and kind of how we've grown and developed through the year. They have too, and they're doing some different things, than they were 6 weeks ago, and credit to them. And again, I've got a ton of respect for Coach Gillespie and what he's done, because their defense is they're flying around right now, and really hitting their fits, I think, a lot faster on some things. And you can tell just now they've had a season, with their new staff and new coordinators, and but we have too, so it'll be a fun challenge.
He may not be a surprise to you, but he might have caught TCU off guard a little bit, the way Will was throwing the ball around the field. Now that they've seen him, they did some adjustments in the second half of that game. Do you think they'll get more aggressive at the line of scrimmage and try to pressure that pocket a little bit more?
I think it's something that you saw even through the game. I mean, the first 3rd and 16, they're in Tampa 2, and, rips the seam to Malik, and didn't see that the rest of the day, and so, sure, I think, and even last week, on some things, I think a little bit more pressure, which, is something that we've drawn, through the year, and, they're going to make us win and beat man coverage, but our guys have been doing that and are prepared for it, and excited to watch them do their thing.
On Tuesday, Coach Klein said that, talking about Adrian, you guys would know a little bit later in the week if he would be available. Do you have any idea on his availability?
He's been pushing himself, working hard. I think we'll know, by the end of the day, I bet.
And then when you look at what Ben Sinnott has been able to do, obviously he got first team tight end for the Big 12. Just how impressive has his performance been this year?
He's made some huge plays at some huge times, and it's fun to watch. He and Will are really, really close, and watching how they're both those guys, they love competing, they love practicing, and working hard. And so those guys are just yesterday, making fun of one another for something, and but having fun, getting better at their craft. And we've known, Ben's he's an instinctual football player. He's got great ball skills and tools. And, when you're out there and you're going to battle with your teammates and having that much fun, it's good things happen.
Were Sinnott's talents, abilities evident on film? Or at what point did they really start to become evident?
I think after his first year, I think is when we knew he was going to be a good player. I think then you look at some of the catches he made. You look at how natural he bends and can strike people. Then you're like, and then he was able to put on weight and get stronger after that first year. Then you're like, shoot, there's he could really be dynamic. But even then, and I tell all of our guys all the time, I mean, potential doesn't mean jack. I mean, and talent at the end of the day, until you get the opportunity to go out and do it, and then until you go out and do it, it doesn't mean much. And he's done it, and credit to him.
In your experience, does it take a kind of mindset to win a championship game setting?
I almost tend to go the other way of saying, we've been in a 1-week season since really probably even for week 1, but definitely week 3, and just, hey, let's put our head down and focus on one at a time. And it happens to be the 13th step in that journey of the 13-week season. But I think our guys, we're where we're at because they've really bought into that and lived it. And I haven't felt much of a sense, and I don't want them to think of this as anything else because it's another challenge and it's another 1-week season.
You're playing a team for the second time. Do you have to balance going with what you know has worked and it's on film against maybe outthinking yourself and getting too carried away?
That's a great question, and if you got that formula, let's sit down and talk perfectly. And because you're exactly right. We can't outthink ourselves. We can't try to do too much, trying to get 2 steps ahead of everything, and then screwing ourselves. So no, we gotta be patient. We gotta go with and stay within ourselves and ultimately just try to give our playmakers and let our guys do their thing, in good rhythm and get them going.
Collin, that was 10 years ago tonight that you hoisted the Big 12 championship trophy. Now these guys have opportunity to do it again. Just what's the specialness in that achievement?
Well, that's a more fond memory than last time I was down here. No, I mean, I think, again, it's surreal. Even in the moment, you don't even really know what's going on because you're, again, just in that next step, mentality. But hope that all of us are able to keep our heads down and do what we need to do to make sure that everything gets done how it needs to, and then they shift out of that mode and are able to soak it up as much as they can.
Going back to last week, what went into the decision to be so run heavy in the second half?
It was a weird game, and it was something that we wanted to do. And we wanted to do and needed to establish the line of scrimmage, and because of some explosive plays, a quick possession here or there, didn't really get that done. They had made some adjustments and a couple things that on that first and second down on, backed up that, they changed how they played some things, so then you're not able to get into a rhythm running the football. We covered for ourselves by making some big plays, so we hadn't been able to do that, even though we obviously moved the ball and been successful. So I think that was a point of emphasis. It was at the end of the second quarter, the weather was really starting to become a factor, and some of our guys of being able to grip the football and operate, that was becoming more of a challenge. Didn't know it would morph into as much as it did, but we were able to be successful and establish it and kind of just suck the any of the space out of it, and that was credit to our guys up front and backs for finishing the deal.
One or two more. We talk a lot about a lot of the other offensive linemen, but we don't talk a lot about Christian Duffy. How important is having just that stability and a rock on that right end to kind of carry you guys through?
Well, you said it. I mean, he's steady. He's just an unbelievable teammate. Works his butt off. I mean, as you said, hasn't missed a game, hasn't missed a practice. Just and he's played a lot of football. And his experience and it's in games like this that's going to carry the day.
Has Panzer made the kind of progress you guys would have anticipated?
Hadley's he's a warrior. I mean, we get to week 13, it doesn't matter. Everybody's body's hurting, and he's dinged up, no different than a lot of our guys, and how he's been able to continue to fight through that and improve is, super credit to him.